Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is A Taste of Cath. So if you're new here, please do stay, like, share and subscribe. And if you are not new here, then welcome. So I'm going to get straight into this video. I don't want to waste any time. So I'm going to go through the steps to getting your Nigerian passport renewal in the UK. So I'm going to give you 5 simple steps to run you through it. So it's going to be discussing about before applying, during the application and after the application. So let's just get straight into the video. So the first step is to get your NIN number. Literally on the website, you have to put in your NIN number when filling out the application form. So if you don't have your NIN number, then you literally cannot carry on the application. So for anyone that doesn't know, it is an individual number to identify you as a Nigerian. It is going to be needed for all things such as opening bank accounts, trying to get a SIM card, as well as, of course, applying for your passport. So if you don't have an NIN number, I'm going to take you through the steps quickly. And if you do have an NIN number already, then you're a step ahead and you can move on to the next step. I'm going to put in time slots so that you can just jump to the next step. So for those that don't have an NIN number, you need to go to the nimc.gov.ng website. On that website, you'll be able to find all the UK centres that have enrolment for NIN. I personally went onto the website. I found a centre near me that had availability. I booked. It was £45. I know for some people it's around £40. But like I said, that can vary. So it depends on the test centre, where you're based in the UK, and a bunch of other things. So you need to book that appointment. Like I said, mine was £45, and they have test centres, enrolment centres across the UK. So I'm sure wherever you are, whether Aberdeen, London, Sheffield, Manchester, you should be able to find an enrolment centre near you. Then for that appointment, what you need to take with you is your identification. So your passport, expired or old passport. You can take any government ID if you have government ID for Nigeria, and you can take a birth certificate, your Nigerian birth certificate. Then you also need to have this information to hand at your NIN enrollment. You need to know your state of origin. You need to know your local government authority of your state. And you also need to have your address in Nigeria. They're going to ask you for those 3 things at the enrollment. So make sure you have those to hand. And the appointment is very quick. I think mine lasted for about 15 to 20 minutes. It is very super quick. They take a photo and they take the biometrics of your fingerprints. So be sure to, look decent if you are going for your enrollment. And it doesn't take long to get it back. I think I got mine after 2 or 3 days, but some people can get it back in hours. So it varies again from centre to centre. So once you have your NIN number, you're now ready to jump into your online application form. So step 2 is the online application form. You need to go onto the passport.immigration.gov.uk website. I should have it written on the screen, or it will be in the description box below. I'll have all the links for all the websites I'm mentioning and everything. So be sure to look there and you should be able to find exactly what I'm talking about. So you need to go onto the passport.immigration.gov.ng website. Then they will ask you to sign in or create a login. And then once you've done that, you will click at the top where it says create new application, and then you select renew or first passport, whatever it is that you're applying for. You select that at the top. Then you have to fill out all your information. So of course, all the information that they ask for will be there. Just fill it out. And I can give you the prices, the current prices as of today. Today is the 11th of November, 2023. And the prices were for a 5-year passport, 32 pages is $130. Yes, I said dollars. I know that even though we're in the UK, the website uses dollars, so $130. For a 5-year with 64 pages, it's $150. And then for a 10-year passport, which is what I went for because I do not want to have to go through this in just 5 years. Let's wait a bit. Let's go through this whole process again in 10 years time. So for a 10-year passport, which is automatically 64 pages, that is $230. Yes, $230. And these prices do not include the actual transaction fee, which is $12. So technically, for a 10-year passport, it is $242, including the transaction fee. Please note that if you're under 18, so if you're filling out an application form for a child, for someone that is under 18, they cannot actually get a 10-year passport and they will have to get a 5-year passport. But anyone 18 and above can get a 10-year passport. So once you finish completing the form online, be sure to save the documents that come from your form and download them as a PDF. That includes your application form, your payment slip or receipt, and your appointment slip, right? So be sure to save those documents because you'll need them later. And that takes me swiftly onto step 3, which is to book your appointment. So step 3, to book your appointment, you'll need to go onto appointments.immigration.gov.uk. From there, you will need your application ID number from the application you've just done and your reference number. So you'll need those 2 numbers to proceed with booking of your appointment. And be sure to know that you have left enough time for this appointment, because I, for example, booked my appointment in, I want to say April, and my appointment, the closest appointment date was the 23rd of June. So you can imagine from around the end of April to the 23rd of June, it's about 2 months. So be sure to leave enough time for this whole process, because appointments do get booked up very, very quickly. So you just need to be sure that you know your timings. So as soon as you've done your application, you've made note of your application ID and your reference number, then you can go onto this website and book your appointment. They normally have 2 appointment times. They'll have a 9 o'clock slot and an 11 o'clock slot. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which time you pick because people will be lining outside from probably 5 a.m. So I don't think at the embassy they actually looked at timings. I think more so they just looked to make sure that you were there on the right date and that you had the documents that they require. So in terms of the time, if you see 9 a.m., if you see 11 a.m., it doesn't really matter. Just book it and you'll be fine for the day. But I'll get onto that bit in the next segment. So once you've done that, you've booked, you've got your NIN number, you've applied online, and then you have booked your appointment, you're now on to step 4, which is all the preparation that you need to do before your appointment. So step 4 is to prepare for your appointment. So there are a few things you need to do. So from your online application form, you will have an application form, which you can download, which you need to download. You'll have a payment receipt or slip, which you also download. And then you'll have a appointment booking slip, which you also need to download. So you want to print off those 3 documents: the application form, the payment receipt, and your appointment slip. Very important. Print those 3 documents off because they will not allow you inside if you do not have those documents to hand. And then you also need to get a postal order, a £20 postal order from the post office, and it has to be addressed to Nigerian High Commission. So £20 postal order to Nigerian High Commission. And with that postal order, the post office also charge for that. So it actually ends up being £22.50 that you pay in total, because there's a £2.50 fee for the £20 postal order. So you can see how it's all stacking up. I know. And then you also need to get from the post office a prepaid first class special delivery envelope. I'll probably put an example somewhere on the screen. So you need a prepaid first class delivery envelope, because it is this envelope is technically a bag, but it's they class it as an envelope. This is what they will actually send back your passports in. This is how they will send you your passport. So it's very important to not miss that out. Normally, when you go for your appointment outside the embassy, there is outside the High Commission, there is usually somebody selling one, because of course people always forget. But I wouldn't even trust those things, and I would literally just make sure you're prepared before, because you don't want to panic and be waiting on people or having to rush to the post office and missing your place in line and all this hassle. So just get it before. Get your £20 postal order and get your prepaid special delivery bag. For the special delivery bag, if you are applying for multiple people and you want that passport to their passport and your passport of the same household, though, you have to have the same surname. So if you're applying, for example, for yourself and your partner, or yourself and your child, and you want the passports to be sent to the same address, you can use the same delivery bag. I did that. I applied for my passport with my mother, and I was able to have both our passports sent to us in that one delivery bag. So just make sure it has to be somebody that shares your surname, and if they want the passport sent to the same address, because that special delivery slip, you have to put the address where you want the thing to be sent, to your home address. So just a heads up regarding that. And that cost me, I think it was around £8 or £8.80. Yes. So be sure to get that as well. When you are preparing, just make sure you have these things: your application form printed off, your payment receipt printed off, and your appointment slip printed off. Those 3 papers are very important. You need a £20 postal order, which is £22.50, including the fee that the post office take. Then you need to get a prepaid first class special delivery envelope. Again, that should be addressed to you. You have to write your address on it, because that is what they'll use to send your passport back to you. That cost me about £8.80. Then you also have to have your NIN number with you to hand. You don't need the card, as long as you have the number and you know the number is authenticated. That is what matters. And then, of course, bring along your old or expired passport. And then, of course, step 5, attending your actual appointment. So on the appointment day, arrive early, basically. I arrived at 6:45, and there was probably already about 20 to 30 people in front of me. It happens. People get there super early, especially people that are coming from far, that have maybe they've come from far and they've slept over in a hotel close by. They can literally just come out of their hotel and wait right in the line. And it can fill up quite quickly. And especially depending on the time of year you're going, make sure that you dress appropriately. Something comfortable, because you're going to be standing for long. If it's cold outside, make sure you're wrapped up. If it's hot outside, make sure you have like a small portable fan, and you are dressed appropriately. Be sure to have some snacks with you, have some drink or water with you as well, and just avoid, this is a big one, avoid at all costs any arguments, any shouting. It's just unnecessary drama, especially when you get into the High Commission. But you're basically just remember, if you're in someone's High Commission, you are back in their country. So if you are in Nigerian High Commission, act and behave like a Nigerian. Just know that's how it is, right? So you don't want to come across with any shouting, arguments, disagreements. You want to get in and get out as quickly as possible. Well, as I did. I wanted to, and I did. So if you follow these steps, hopefully you will too. So as early as people come, there is always a long line, and they will not open those doors until 9 o'clock. So just be conscious that even if you come as early as 5, as early as 4 a.m, those doors are not going to open till about, maybe if you're lucky, 8:45, but pretty much 9 o'clock. And make sure that you're at the right door. So depending on the area you're coming from, if you're coming from the Charing Cross station, then sometimes you see a first door that has a Nigerian flag over it. I will try and insert a clip here. Yep, somewhere here, hopefully. And that is not the door. That's not the beginning of the line. No, keep going round that corner, and then you'll actually see the line and the door that you need to be standing in front of. just be sure, because a lot of people make that mistake. Make sure you're at the right address. I know some people have gone to the wrong address and they literally came late. Well, I say late, but they ended up at the back of the queue because they first went to a different address. Make sure you're at the right address as well. Now, when you enter the High Commission, you're going to get a ticket number and they're going to start calling out the ticket number. There is a guy that is going to be standing and he's literally going to be shouting. And what he's going to be shouting is to make sure that you have all your documents. He's going to be, even though they've checked it, before you even enter the High Commission, somebody comes out and makes sure that you have your appointment slip and that your appointment date is the right date. But when you get in, they'll now again ask you to make sure you have all your documents. He will probably ask you on the back of your payment slip to write your address and number and phone number, and then on the back of the postal order to write your name and phone number again. These things is because you know how documents can get lost. I don't know why they don't want everything to be electronic, but so just make sure you have your name and your number on the back of these documents, and then for the payment slip, have your address and number on the back of the payment slip to show that you've paid. But they will literally shout that out to you once you enter, so don't be shocked. I think I ended up being number 47 or something on my ticket number, 147, and it started from 100, so I was number 47, and it went really quickly. So I got into the High Commission at around 9 a.m. and then downstairs they check your NIN is authenticated. They make sure that your NIN number is authenticated, and they check your other documents, and then they send you upstairs. So I was downstairs inside the High Commission by around 9 a.m. and by 9:31 or something, I was upstairs where you then do your biometrics and your photo. They will also give you an additional document to sign. That is basically a document to say that if they lose your passport, they are not liable. So basically, that delivery envelope, if that goes missing or your passport, whatever, that they're not liable. And very interesting. But yeah, that is to be signed and handed in with your special delivery envelope, and then you'll be called into a room right opposite to take your photos and get your biometrics done. Once that is done, that is it. You just hand in your special delivery envelope, take your biometrics, take your photos, and you're literally done. Now it's time for you to leave. So for my process, I arrived outside at 9:45. So I was in the line till around 9 a.m. when we entered inside of the High Commission. I was downstairs for about 30 minutes before I got sent upstairs. And then upstairs, I was there for around an hour, and I literally left the embassy at around 10:30 something. So all in all, I was lucky. I was in and out very quickly. I was very surprised actually. But I think as long as you have all your documents correct and in check, and you know exactly how to just sit and do and get out and avoid arguments, then you're sorted. People were arguing from the line outside. From outside, we had families coming and trying to push in, saying that they were here early, and people were like, no, I've been here way early, you weren't here. So it became like a whole big hassle, and I just don't have the energy for any of that. So try to avoid any of that problems. Just get in, get out, and hopefully your process should be smooth. But as I say, as a disclaimer, please be sure to check the website because things change all the time. So be sure to check the website, double check, make all your checks done. Do not take this thing as Bible. Like, be sure to do your own research, your own checks, and hopefully you should have a smooth process. So the date of my appointment was the 23rd of June, and I got my passports back 6 weeks later. So pretty much exactly 6 weeks. Last week of August, I got my passport back, and I'm quite happy with that. I don't think 6 weeks was extortionately long or anything. I think that was kind of what I expected, to be honest. They actually put a date on, so they give you a receipt after you've done your biometrics and your photo. Take a picture of that, and basically the date on that, the last date on that, is when you should have received your passport by, and that date was for the end of August for me, and I received it at the beginning of August, so I was quite happy. But if you didn't receive it by that date, then I would advise go back to the embassy and basically find out what's going on with your document. But all in all, I had a smooth process, and I think it can be stressful and it's very expensive. I think if you add up in total, that's probably about $300, maybe £170, £270. So it's costly and it can be stressful, but I'm so happy that I got a 10-year passport, so I don't have to go back to that High Commission for another 10 years. So I definitely think it's worth it. And now I'm gonna take full advantage and use my passport everywhere that Nigerian passport allows me to go. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful. Please do leave any comments, questions, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. But do check the description box, as I will have all the links there, and basically the top tips that I have mentioned, I'll just really reiterate it there. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.